Hello, friends, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Fort Worth Roots. You can find the Fort Worth Roots podcast on all of your favorite streaming services, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, and we're also on YouTube. Just look for Fort Worth Roots. You can even Google it. Today we sit down with our friend Maria, the creator of the PG Streetside Market and the owner of Pouring Glory, Mr. Scott. We're going to be talking a lot about upcoming events in this episode. You can look at our show notes for all of it printed out for you so you don't have to write it down as you're driving. And we'll be talking more about it at the end of the show. We're going to jump right into it today. Thank y'all for being here, and let's start the show. All right, back at Pouring Glory. If you've been listening to the Fort Worth Roots podcast for any length of time, you know we'd like to hang out here at Pouring Glory, located at 1001 Bryant Avenue in Fort Worth, Texas, just off of South Main Street. I'm here today with Maria. What is your last name?
Castillo.
And she is the creator of the PG Southside Street Market. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So before we dive into that, where are you from originally, or have you been in Fort Worth your whole life?
I'm originally from Chicago.
Oh, really?
Yes. And we moved here probably, I was in 5th grade, and met my husband, who is born and raised down here in Southside Fort Worth.
Uh-huh.
So, yes, I could say I'm a Fort Worth native.
Nice.
Southside.
Nice. And what year was that?
Let me see, 1980.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're a local.
Yeah, I just gave away my age.
Been here longer than me. I've been in Fort Worth for about 14 years now.
Yeah, if you ever want to do a rundown on the south side of Fort Worth, just bring my husband in.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's got it.
Y'all ever thought about starting your own guided tour? You could do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need a permit for that or not. I was watching this show. It's called Alien Resident, or Resident Alien. Mm-hmm. It's on, I think, Netflix. And one of the characters in the show just decided she was going to start her own tour of the city, and everybody's like, "What's going on?" Yeah. She had 20 people following her around while she had the microphone and the speaker, so she could talk to them and take them around town. I'm like, yeah, I guess anybody could do it.
Yeah, and so much has changed. My daughter still lives down here by TCU, and we come meet her for breakfast, and it just so much has changed. Yeah.
Well, and just in the time that I've been here, there's been a lot of changes. I've watched 7th Street kind of come and go. Mm-hmm. It was this hot thing for a minute, and then businesses from outside of our community started popping up and ruined the whole thing. And there's new subdivisions and new apartment complexes and new roadways, so it's definitely changed.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's progress, I think. I mean, it's good. So, it's some people don't want it, but it's good.
Yeah. Well, and it's inevitable too, right? It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk a little bit about what got you involved with setting up these vendor markets.
That goes way back. How I originally, long story short, I'm going to try to cut it as short as possible. I'm a maker. Mm-hmm. I, way back a long time ago, had a store on Bluebonnet Circle here by TCU. I I'm a seamstress, bow maker, children's clothing, and I did that for 12 years. Yeah. Started out of the trunk of my car, so that was before pop-ups and things like that. Had that going, loved it, moved to California for my husband's job and closed my store. We were there for 8 years, came back, and I thought, I'll just do it again because, I still had contacts and stuff like that, and saw that the whole dynamic had changed.
In Fort Worth?
Yes. Yeah. It wasn't about boutiques anymore. It wasn't about, going into this little shop. It was more like the shop was being part of many little shops, the pop-ups, Yeah. So I thought, and got with my daughter because I was a little out of touch, and she's like, "Mom, no, it's the pop-ups." I was like, let me try the pop-ups. So I started doing pop-ups, and I did several with different people who run pop-ups, and I didn't feel I was getting, I would pay my fee, go, and that was it. It was just okay, let's hope people show up, and I just noticed it was at popular places. I was like, okay, I see what's going on. It's people who are already coming to the establishments. And then
you're like, I can do this.
Yeah, and my daughter said, "Mom, you should try it," because I was just very disappointed. I almost felt like it was like, okay, thanks, and then it was just like, okay, so what now, you know? And so I just didn't feel the customer service was there, and that's what I've always known, you know. It's what keeps people coming back.
Yeah.
And so my daughter's the one who inspired me. She said, "Mom, you could do this." And so I was like, let me try. So
and what's your daughter's name?
Kristen.
Has she been to the marketplaces? Have I met her?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
She comes, she's my biggest fan. Yeah, she goes awesome. To everyone and brings my granddaughter. And so I started them in Turning Point. I met a girl named Rachel who worked there.
You said that's in Bedford?
Bedford, yeah.
Turning Point Brewery?
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. If you've never been there, yeah, check it out. It's nice. And we live in Bedford. Okay. And I did my first one there, and it was just so awesome. I was just like, wow, you know. And with Rachel's help, she worked for Turning Point. She doesn't work there anymore, but I was like, this was great, you know. And just meeting the other makers, and I fell in love with it. I was just like, this is what I need to do now. I need to be on the other end, because I don't think I'm old, but I'm older. And I see myself 25 years ago in all these makers. You know, they're all young kids. You know, they're all, you know, anywhere from 25 to 30, 40. I won't say how old I am, but so every time they say no, you know, I've had people tell me, we can tell you like doing this. I said, I do. I said, I see you. I see me and you. You know, and so I want somebody to cheerlead for me, and you know, I wanted that.
Well, so that our listeners know, you and I have been kind of working together with these markets. I'm not at all of them, but I try to support you as much as I can. I love what you do.
Thank you.
Your markets are always fun, and you've always got great vendors out there, and I believe you have live music at every single one of them, don't you?
Yeah, I love music, and that's my thing. There's got to be, it's just it brings in, it's just that vibe of the whole thank you. It's almost a thank you for coming, enjoy the music, you know. Thanks.
People should come and they should buy things, but even if you don't buy anything, which again you should, it's a great atmosphere. There's wonderful people, and there's always something new to see.
Yes,
it's never the same vendors. Sometimes you do have some vendors that were with us the time before, but there's always something new, even if it was the same vendors, because they have a new stock of their own creations.
They're always evolving,
So even if you came to a PG Southside Market a month ago, which would be impossible right now, but even if you did, you're going to see something new, something fresh. And the venue that I guess you've been using repeatedly is here at Pouring Glory, isn't that right?
Yes, I left Turning Point. Rachel, the girl I had done a couple of markets there with, she left, and I thought, well, okay, you know, I'll wait and see, but I just kind of took a break, and we'd always come to Pouring Glory. I loved eating here. We'd come, like, you know, right now we'd have lunch and have a beer and leave. And I just started talking to my husband. I was like, you know, this would be a good place. I said, it's small, but it's still a great place. I said, I'm going to look into it with the city, and just looked up information, and I thought, I can do this. And so I got with Scott. And
you've got the street shut down now, so that entire, you know, Scott has a great patio scene here, but now that you've got the street shut down for these markets, there's so much more room for vendors. So I think 38 out on the street, is that what
if it's
allows
anywhere
for?
from 38 to 36, depending on if we do the tables or not.
Okay. And then we've got another 15 or 20 inside the fence, depending on how we got that set up. So that's awesome. So March 30th is going to be the next one. And you've got, who's playing from 11 to 1?
It's going to be Smokey Lou. His name's Justin, and he's just a great kid. I met him at my previous job. I'm at another job now. But I met him, and just out of surprise, one day he had his guitar, and I was just like, you play the guitar? He's like, yeah, and I sing. And I heard him. I was just like, and I invited him to actually one of my first markets at Turning Point, and I've asked him ever since.
That's
like,
awesome.
Hey, he loves doing it too.
Well, Maria was nice enough to, we found out that we were both gunning for a spot here at Pouring Glory last weekend of March. And so instead of trying to do our own things or fighting over a date, we're going to do it together. So
that's great.
The Fort Worth Roots Music Series is going to kick off in March 30th. And we're going to occupy the stage from right after
You said 1 to 3.
Yeah, after Smokey Lou leaves. So when he gets off stage at 1, then the Gray with Max Cusin is going to jump up there, and that's going to be the first leg of the Fort Worth Roots music series. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear them. Yeah, I'm telling you, I love live music.
Well, and your guy, I saw him last time, and he's really great. So
yeah,
I'd probably try to get him on a recording and bend his ear a little bit.
Yeah.
But good to see him coming back out, and I know we're going to have a great time. The weather's going to be perfect. There's not going to be any issues.
Nope. Always on that positive, manifesting that positive weather. And you know what? So far, every market we've had here has been beautiful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was last September. Y'all either had a market right before I did my September event or right after it.
Right after.
Okay, so the week before my event, it was beautiful. The week we did our September event last year, it was hell on earth. It was 100 plus degrees outside, triple digits, and it was just nobody wanted to. It was bad. So and then the very next week,
it was 2 weeks after. Yeah.
Oh, is it 2 weeks? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks later, it was just beautiful outside.
Yeah.
We're just shaking our heads, going, "Damn, we picked the worst possible week."
No. So. Yeah, well, hopefully the streak continues because every market we've had has been beautiful.
That's awesome. We will be doing an alternate date for our September event this year. And all of our musicians and our vendors and everybody is going to have to agree to this. You're going to need to block off 2 weeks. We're going to have the event. The hard date is going to be set for, probably the second to last week of September. The alternate date is going to be the following weekend.
Yeah. That's a good plan.
And if we pull up that weather report and it's anything but perfect, we're going to move it to the alternate date. We just can't do that again.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Nobody's hanging out in triple digits.
No. Well, I came. I was here.
Oh,
and, and I was just like, wow.
Our big supporters made it out, but it was murder. And I think everybody the next day was just like, shit, I can't believe we did that.
Yeah.
So.
Not this year. All positive.
Can you tell us a couple of vendors that you're really excited to see at the March 30th market?
I'm always glad to have Andrew with Patchy Bastard. He's done almost, I think, just about every market with me since I started.
And what does he make?
And he does these really cool patches with different little sayings. Sometimes he makes custom ones, for the market. And just like I got a couple from him. They're one of my favorite ones says bullshit artist, and it's just a patch. He just does patches, he puts them on jackets. I think he added jackets.
Yeah.
He also does a 3D, is it the 3D
3D printer?
Yeah, he does those little, thing. I wish I was hip on the, the names of them.
The 3D printer things.
Yeah, he does those, and I'm good thinking. Yeah, and so he's been with me since the beginning. I got my friend Miriam from, I wish I could remember. I'm sorry. I don't remember. You can look it up.
That's fine.
Yeah, and
what does she make?
So she doesn't make, but she has makers from Mexico. So that's how that gets passed on. So which is also good. So she works with families and so she does imports.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah. So that's great. And I went to school with her. We've been friends since high school and middle school, and it's always nice to see her. So I'm glad to have her back. I think this will be her third time back.
That is really cool. When we went down to Big Bend last year, there is a river crossing attached to the park, and I cannot remember the name of the little town. I want to say like Lajitas or something. Anyway, vendors from Mexico come up to the river, and you can buy their stuff, the things that they make.
Yeah.
And that particular trip that we made down there, they had that section of the park closed down.
Yeah.
And so there was another spot inside Big Bend that is known to be like the alternate spot. And I don't think it's legal. I don't think they're allowed to be there. So what they did is they left a jar out and said, the prices are marked. Please, this is the honor system. Put your money in the jar and take what you want. And so we did that. We put our money in the jar. This is your headset, Scott. You have to put it on your head. And then, you take the item. But we all suspected that probably there's somebody hanging out in the tree line back there somewhere. But
Probably.
so it's cool you got a vendor that's bringing stuff across the border. You don't have to make the trip all the way down to Big Bend.
Yeah, it's Puerta del Sol, I think, is what her business name is.
Yeah.
But another one's Amanda from Rockin' Rooster. She does art on leather.
Okay.
Very cool. I mean, she's made a couple of custom pieces for me. She made a custom leather wallet for my brother. They do custom work. I mean, that's the best part about these pop-ups. It makes it original for the customer. For the
It is all original.
Yeah.
By definition. Yeah. Tell me about your glass blowing. Friend.
That's Ryan with Fargo Flameworks, and he's been at 2 or 3 markets. I don't think he was able to make the last one. But I invite him. I want him to be here, and I tell him.
I actually called him also.
Did you?
Yeah, I haven't heard back yet. But.
Yeah, and I say, you being here is a plus. I said, because people get to see you in action, working, and seeing that it takes talent and your artistic stuff. And he seems to get a good crowd when he's doing his job.
Yeah.
And
he's a good presenter too.
Yeah,
he's very artistic, but he's good at working the crowd.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Yeah,
so
I hope he comes back for the 30th. Well, maybe not the 30th, but for the April market. Hopefully he'll make it in.
Yeah. Well, folks, we just had Scott Glovier sit down with us, the owner and creator of Pouring Glory on 1001 Bryant Avenue, just off of South Main Street. What's going on, Scott?
Just trying to get through another day.
It's taken me 3 years to get this man to do what he just did just now.
I'm busy.
Say one word on the show. Thank you. I meant to say thank you.
Better late than never.
Should have led with that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So you got some big events coming up, and we were just talking about the March 30th event. It's going to be a PG Southside Market and Fort Worth Roots music series launch, all in one little event.
Should be fun.
What else you got March 30th?
We're going to be doing street food outside. We'll have our full menu inside. We're also going to have several beer vendors that'll have jockey boxes out there, packaged beer and specials like that. We just launched Martin House THC seltzers today, so we're going to try to feature those also.
Tell me about that. What's the deal with those?
Under Texas law, it has to be under 0.3% by volume or by weight. So they're 5 milligrams THC in each one, which, is not a lot unless you're real sensitive to it.
Yeah.
So, and we're kind of excited to be part of that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
So, are you guys kind of a pilot program, or is there something people can find on the shelf?
No, it's been out for a while.
Okay.
Some of the other CBDs we're getting from Bayou City. They're down in Houston. And those ones are going to be in some of the bigger liquor stores and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Actually, they're starting to get out there where you can get them retail now.
But they should try it here first.
Definitely. Get something to eat also.
Yeah. I had another PG burger today. I get the PG burger most days. I always try to default, like, hey, Scott, if you got something back there you want me to try, or give me the PG burger. And usually I end up with the PG burger because it's great.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
We do good burger here. So.
No, it's good.
Yeah. Some of the regulars will come in and they'll get their menu, and they just, I don't need this because they're just going to order off the special board, which changes every day.
Yeah.
And so those are where we get really creative, which is fun. So.
And there's always great stuff on the special board.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's so good that we are almost sad that we tried it, because then you're going to take it off the board.
Yeah.
Well, they still come in and order it, even though it's not on the board. And my cooks back there start scratching their head. Are we doing this or not? Yeah, go ahead. if we're not too busy. So we're excited about that. And today we're starting our music for, I guess it's still winter, but we're starting our spring series. And we're going to try to do Saturday afternoon into the evening and feature one beer outside. So we're still working on that schedule for it, and kind of help out the musicians.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot of venues that have closed out here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, it's going to be third Thursday. Excuse me. The art you see on the wall is Madeline Salas, and she used to work here.
Yeah.
So she does mostly collages, and some of them are really cool. And she's going to be today, actually, bringing more art in and getting it up. And every Thursday night, the third Thursday of each month for, I believe it's the next 6 months, starting next month, will be several Southside locations, and people can go around and try to hit each one and look at the artists and support the art, which is important also.
And can people purchase these off the wall?
Yes, there's they just need to get with me or one of the servers when they get here, and we have the.
I'm not even going to try to describe it, but I promise you, folks, you've never seen anything like it.
No,
it's very creative.
Extremely.
And I need at least a dozen of those for my new house.
Somebody gave her, like, from the original National Geographic magazine for the first one way back when.
Oh, the first ever.
Everything up until this point, and there's some crazy stuff, things that wouldn't fly today and stuff in there. And she cuts them out, mixes it up, and it's just really unique is what she does. So everybody wants to come by on Thursday, the third Thursday of each month, and that'd be good to see that too. Support her.
Top two have like a B-29 or a B-17 bomber in the picture, and so obviously I'm going to want one of those.
Yeah. She's already sold a couple. And
there's more over there too.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch over here too.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
She's been a vendor at one of the Fort Worth Root events.
Yeah.
Also. Yeah. Very nice lady.
Yeah, she'll be here.
We got April. April's always busy for the Fort Worth Roots podcast, and one of the things we are really going to be paying attention to is the 420 event. That's on a Saturday, right?
Yes, it is.
Now, this is going to be the biggest event they've ever done here at Pouring Glory. No pressure, Scott.
No. I thrive on pressure, Andrew.
We're pulling in a huge stage. You're going to have some incredible bands up there. Do you need your notes? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, we're going to be starting at 11, and Maria is going to be here doing the street fair. And from 11 to, the times aren't definite yet, to 4 or 5, it's going to be public free. And starting around 4:35, we're going to be, there'll be a cover to see. So far, we've booked Joe, J-O-E.
J-O-E.
Yeah, local rapper who's pretty cool.
He's been on the show.
We're working on getting Pablo and the Hemphill 7 and Sally Majestic, which is a huge band, and they got a lot of brass and stuff out there, and I listened to some of their music and I couldn't stop smiling.
How many pieces you said in that
I think
band?
it's 13.
That's
so
incredible.
I called Ben again yesterday to finalize it, so I'm waiting to hear back from him. So, and then during the day we'll have bands. You'll be doing a podcast. It's going to be about education on not just cannabis, but all the cannabinoids. And we're, just trying to get the stigma off of it, where a lot of people don't realize how mainstream it is and what it is as a medicine, actually. So
well, I'll put the word out now to the listeners. We are looking for people to speak intelligently about that subject. Maybe people that are inside the legislative
you might want to catch them early.
Right.
Yeah.
Before the event goes on.
Or we record it the week before. So, yeah.
Well, we'll be doing it live at the event. We'll see how that goes, and then maybe I can reconnect with some people later if we need to. But that's going to be a really fun event, and I've taken enough of you guys' time. Thank y'all so much. But Scott, since I got you on recording, and I've never had a chance to say this, I love you. I appreciate you so much,
love you too,
all
brother.
of the Fort Worth Roots listeners love you too.
Well, they need to come in and support us. So.
And they do, and I see them here, and I love running into our listeners here at Pouring Glory. It's kind of a central location for me and my friends and my family. We just absolutely love it here, and thank you so much for pushing through, because you've been through the ringer.
Well, you're part of our family.
This is year 8?
8th year here. I started the journey
years.
about 9 years ago, and we actually opened that year in 2015.
And if you guys have been paying attention, 8 years in business in this economy is pretty wild. And Scott and his wife have been doing this by themselves for a very long time, and it's a lot of work, so we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm glad I met you. I'm glad I met Scott. I'm glad we came in, and
isn't this a wonderful place?
Yeah.
It's just been a magnet for good people.
It's just all for local, small support, and that's it. Yeah.
Support local when you can.
Yeah.
Always
keep Fort Worth dollars in Fort Worth pockets. Shop small.
Yep.
Within
Do
your
it right
community.
here.
It's more important now than ever. So
Anything else to the listeners about upcoming events or just life messages?
You can check us out on Facebook or Instagram, and we've got food specials, beer specials, and we're going to be starting the music, as I said, and there's always something fun going on here.
And you're also linked on the Fort Worth Roots webpage,
as well as the Fort Worth Weekly. So
Fort Worth Weekly, supporters of the old Pouring Glory.
Yep, they're all good people.
Well, they support Scott.
Yeah,
I think Pouring Glory is just kind of a secondary thing.
Yeah, well,
They like you,
as long as I get them in here. So, yeah.
whatever the reason is.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, thank y'all so much.
Thank
And
you.
Can we maybe do a recording? Let's not wait another 3 years.
Yeah, we'll give it 2 years.
You've got
Speed things
stories.
up.
I want some of these stories.
Okay.
All right, folks. Thank y'all for listening. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Maria, Scott, thank you guys for being on the Fort Worth Roots podcast. I only had to ask Maria once, but I had to ask Scott 36 times and wait 3 years. So glad to also get him included in that recording. He's a busy guy. So is Maria. Maria's not a busy guy. She's a busy woman, but they're both very busy. But Scott really leans into it, the whole being busy thing. Anyway, we're glad to have him on the show. Not just talking him up because he's a guest on the show. Scott, we love you, and we're always rooting for you. Maria is doing what she's doing to support the community, but also she said it in the recording. She's doing it at Pouring Glory because she loves the atmosphere. She loves the people there, and we all want to see Pouring Glory succeed. So come on out, March 30th. I think it kicks off, what do we say, 11 o'clock? I'll have it in the show notes. And then we're going to have Max Cusin and his band, The Gray, on stage at 1 o'clock. Lots of great vendors, plenty of wonderful food and beer to drink. And then 4/20, April 20th, it is going to be the largest production they have ever put on at Pouring Glory, and you can bet we're going to be there. It's going to be 2 stages. One stage for the important people, and then there's another stage that if you've been out to Pouring Glory, you've seen it before. They're going to have the podcaster set up there. So yours truly will be there hanging out, doing some recordings, and just kind of seeing where I can fit in. So you guys come out there and join us. March 30th, coming up here pretty quick, and then April 20th. Make sure you put that on your calendar. Let's jump into these sponsors real quick. Of course, Pouring Glory is located at 1001 Bryant Avenue. It is your growler refilling station. Wonderful award-winning food. Come on out any time of the week, but Saturdays and Sundays are dog park days. You can bring your dog, your fur baby, anytime you want to, but on Saturdays and Sundays, they lock up the gates, close it all in so that your four-legged friends can socialize with other pets and have a good time while you sit back, relax, and watch them be goofballs together with some other community fur babies. So check that out. Pouring Glory. Woodpost Metalworks. Go to woodpostmetalworks.com. They are the ones responsible for the awesome sign hanging off the front of the Fort Worth Roots podcast studio at the corner of Meandering and Yale in River Oaks. Go check it out. Wait until about 6 p.m., 7 p.m. when the sun starts going down because it's LED backlit and it looks real cool at night. WoodpostMetalworks.com. Use the offer code podcast817. It'll save you 10%. Hauk Walker Originals. Go to haukwalker.com. They offer a huge variety of unique and personalized gifts. Don't buy this stuff online, folks. Let these people do it for you. Keep Fort Worth dollars in Fort Worth pockets. You go to haukwalker.com. Roofing Solutions by Darren Hauk. These folks have been in the industry for a very long time, and they have a sterling reputation. Don't take a silly podcaster's word for it. Go look it up yourself on Google or any other place that has a rating. Darren Hauk and his crew are very highly rated. You can catch them at roofingsolutionshauk.com or by phone 817-882-6520, and they will give you 50% off a roofing tune-up, something that your home needs periodically, especially in the hellacious conditions that we have here in North Texas. You need to have somebody come out there, seal up your pipe jacks, and look for any kind of damage that might leave your home vulnerable to the elements. Again, that's Roofing Solutions by Darren Hauk, 817-882-6520. Moving on, McFly's Pub, 6104 LT JG Barnett Road, a 1980s Back to the Future themed bar with a very impressive outdoor area, fire pit, hangout, and bring some friends for pool, darts, cornhole, jumbo Jenga, and many other outdoor activities. Live events all the time with local musicians on stage. And Tuesday night with Tommy Luke, still doing that open mic. That's free. I think almost everything they do out there is without a cover. They just want you to come out and enjoy this cool place that Casey Smith put together. So come check that out any old time. Cowtown Nutrition, located at 5430 River Oaks Blvd. They offer a healthy alternative to that compulsory fast food craving. You can also load up on your favorite Herbalife products, and learn about their fitness groups that they hold on location at Cowtown Nutrition. Check them out on Instagram at Cowtown_Nutrition. And thank you to all of our sponsors, including WAVVY Digital, who I did not forget about. WAVVY Digital on Instagram, WAVVY Digital. She is an expert in managing your online presence, your social media, your photography. If you have a small business, if you're an influencer, if you're musicians, anybody that needs help with their space online. If you're doing any of those things I just listed, you don't have time for the social media aspect of it. Sure you do. You can do it, right? Well, you're not going to have as much time and focus to do both. So get somebody like Gianna over at WAVVY Digital to give you a hand with that. Again, find her on Instagram at WAVVY Digital. It's WAVVY Digital on Instagram. Okay. Again, thank you to all of our sponsors. And if you would like to sponsor the Fort Worth Roots podcast, there's never been a better time. We're about to launch our 2024 Play Fort Worth Local. It's a live music series taking place all over the city of Fort Worth. We want to put your name on our banner. We want to put your name on our little handouts. And we want to talk good about you at these shows. And then also include you on our episodes whenever we do these weekly podcast episodes. So check us out online at fortworthroots.com. And then to contact us, email media@fortworthroots.com. All right, short, sweet, but we wanted to make sure and give Maria the spotlight this week. And just as an added bonus, we got Scott on the show too. So hope y'all enjoyed that. It was a lot of fun doing it. We got to sit back and talk a little bit shop about the upcoming events and get some details ironed out. And Maria, if you're listening to this, thank you so much for including the Fort Worth Roots podcast in your event March 30th. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've worked with her in the past, and she knows what she's doing. So it's going to be excellent. Hope you guys can make it out. Put it on your calendar or you will forget. That's how that works. All right. Thank y'all for listening, and I will see you next week. Peace.